Run, piggy, run! Hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's me. Fun enough because it's my... Oh my god. If I sound like I'm in a rush and I'm speaking really quickly, it's because Doctor Who's on in like half an hour, and these videos tend to take about half an hour to film. But I want to be like there, like, and I've got a bit of nut roast in my teeth. So, I went to see Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn on my own. It wasn't meant to be, but like things happen, things come up, so I ended up going on my own. First time, literally in my life, I've gone to the cinema on my own. Don't think I liked it, but then one, I think it's a film that I think is it's like Birds of Prey. It, like, looking at all the trailers, it seems like a fun film with your friends. It's not like Parasite. It's not like The Lighthouse. Like, and I think also because I was expecting it to be with a friend, I didn't really enjoy a solo experience. I also sat in D-Box, and for those of you who don't know, I know it's a UK thing, at Empires at least, they have these separate little screens where it's just like, it was like, it was only like 14 seats, but they like move and they, you know, and that was, they were pretty good, but like, considering it's £11 per ticket if you get the D-Box. I don't know if it's worth that much. Like, I would go again if someone like was like, I got the D-Box ticket, I'd be like, okay, great. But I wouldn't like go out of my way to buy one. I don't really think it's worth the money. But the actual film itself, right off the bat, I enjoyed it. You know, whether the quality, like, oh, how good was the direction, the cinematography, you know. But I enjoyed it, and I think that should be the primary purpose of a movie, whether I enjoy it from an intellectual level, or just because it's fun, or just because the visuals are like, oh wow, spectacle, explosions. Like, if I enjoy it, then the film has succeeded, in my opinion. There are a couple that you don't necessarily enjoy, but I think if it's a purposeful, like this is meant to be like a really bleak film, then I don't really mind it. But I enjoyed the movie. It was surprisingly true to Suicide Squad. It was actually very much a sequel to Suicide Squad in the editing and, you know, the names coming up. I mean, it wasn't as egregious as the, like, here's their bloody stats, like it's a card game. It wasn't as, what's the word, amateur. The story's told out of order, and I think it worked quite well. It's very much... I will say, the Birds of Prey were more important than I expected, because I very much went into this going, this is a Harley Quinn movie with the Birds of Prey shoved in. But Renee and Canary are actually quite important. I have a bung nose, by the way, if you can't tell. Renee and Canary are quite important in the story. Huntress really isn't in it that much. Considering in all the promotional material, she gets spotlighted more than Renee. I think that's actually quite unfair. When Renee is in throughout the movie, she's probably she's like one of the few characters that is kind of linked to most sequences. And Huntress is like literally dotted about with these like less than a minute scenes, and then we get like a bit of her backstory, and then we don't see her for a little while again, and then at the end, when she like towards the end of the movie, when she like bumps into them all, when she tries to kill, well, when she does kill Zaz, it's like, oh, you're part of the team, and I'm like, we barely know her. Gonna be real, we barely know her. I also knew the backstory of Huntress before I watched the movie, so as soon as they were like, the diamond has the fortune of, you know, this mafia family, I was like, oh, okay. So, that's it. I already knew that's who Huntress was, the daughter who survived. And when I saw the sequence when that goon, like, let her out of the car, I immediately was like, I bet he saves her. Because it seemed really weird for him to be all nice to her and then be like, sorry, you got gunned down. I thought, weird, but I feel like there's a new thing at the moment of giving movies like proper albums, not just like, oh, here's the soundtrack. Like, no, it's an album. I think all the songs on the Birds of Prey album are new songs. I think there's one, maybe two, that's a cover, but like they are new songs. I don't know if that was the same with the Charlie's Angels soundtrack. I like this new thing, and the music in Birds of Prey was really good. Sorry, the music in Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn was good. So let's get into the meat. So Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, Also, by the way, she produced the film, if you didn't know. I thought she was I really liked her in this film. I was a bit scared because I do like her in Suicide Squad, but I'm not as crazy about her, as a lot of other people are. I actually prefer her in this movie than I do in Suicide Squad. I think she's much better here. I like they sort of take tropes from, like, chick flicks and kind of change it. Like, she cuts her hair because she's sad. She's reinventing herself. It's a bit of a shame that at the exact same time the Harley Quinn animated TV show is literally doing the exact same storyline. It's literally the same thing. It's Harley Quinn and Joker break up, and Harley Quinn spends the whole series, as far as I know, trying to, like, step out of his shadow, but also at the exact same time is trying to impress him. They work in her psychology a lot in this movie as well. Obviously, that fact that she's a doctor, so, like, she knows a lot about psychology in this, and she, like, delivers it really quickly and is like, oh yeah, I was trying to impress him. And I feel like by the end of the movie, she has fully stepped out of his shadow. And I'm looking forward to her in The Suicide Squad. Because God forbid superhero movies these days put a bloody number at the end of it. I thought Harley Quinn was really funny in this film. I liked the action. They got the guy who did the John Wick action to come in and do the action here. And it was really good. In America, anyways, they've changed the film at, I don't know if at all cinemas, but at least some cinemas, and now the film is called Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. And, as much as the Birds of Prey, again, were in it more than I was expecting, it is still very much a Harley Quinn movie. It's very much her story, and the end of the film is like, oh, they've become the Birds of Prey. And I will say, I think them becoming a group wasn't... It does seem to jump just from they literally have one occasion where they work together as a team, and then apparently they become a crime-fighting trio. Let's face the facts. Birds of Prey is not a hit when it financially. Like, I'm gonna be real here. Birds of Prey is not a financial success. Little mini breakdown. Yes, the production budget was 85, but one of my idols, Grace Randolph, kind of educated me on that is just the amount of money they spent making the movie. Marketing, that'd probably be about $100 million. And also, not all the money that is, like, made from the film goes to the studio. So, for the studio to make money, apparently, according to Grace Randolph's estimate, it has to be about 300 million. So, it getting 85 million in less than a week is, like, it's still not a third of the way to getting there. It's like to getting to 300 million. And I think the success of Sonic the following weekend, it's like kind of cutting it down. So it might break even. I think it still has a decent chance of breaking even, to be honest. I don't think it's going to fail. But I think these days a lot of studios, unless it's like Blumhouse, which make a lot cheaper movies, I think they like to have guaranteed hits. So back to the point I'm trying to make, I don't personally see them making another Birds of Prey movie. Which is a shame, because Renee Montoya, Black Canary, and Huntress are all amazing. Like, Rosie Perez, Journey Smollett, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. If I didn't get her name right, if any of those names I got wrong, it's going to come up here. But I'm just going to see how proud I am of myself if I got all their names right. Especially if her name is actually Mary Elizabeth Winstead, because I haven't heard her name said a lot. I follow Rosie and Journey on Twitter, though, so if I got their names wrong, I'm really sorry. All three of them were really good. I enjoyed Rosie. I thought Journey was kind of the MVP of the movie, because I expected stuff from Margot Robbie, whereas Journey, I was like, I don't know if I've seen anything with her in it, and also she isn't. I don't know if she's made it. She's not at the level of Margot Robbie. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know any of these three actresses were, unless, again, I've seen them in things and just not recognise them. So I had no expectations for Journey, and she was amazing. She was funny, she was good at being serious, she looked amazing. Like, she honestly, I saw a lot of people not liking her looks, but I liked every look that she wore. I even liked her final look for the Birds of Prey. It was a bit unconventional for, like, a crime fighter to wear, like, like a sort of jumpsuit, but you know, it looked good. I thought the backstory with her and her mother and the police, I thought it was really well done. When she was like, you know, my mother helped you, and then when she was murdered, you did nothing. And I think there is a little bit, I think there's almost like a sort of class race thing there going on, because it's implied by, I think, Black Mask talks about, you know, raising her from nothing and, you know, giving her life. So it seems to be that Journey, Canary, like, didn't have a very great life. Her mother was probably poor, same as her, or at least not, they weren't rich. And Rosie kind of stands out from the rest of the kind of male police squad in the police station. I thought the line where she says that wouldn't have happened under my watch, something along that, I thought was a really good line. And they all had really good chemistry. The only thing I didn't like is when it got to the theme park stuff, and they were like gearing up for battle, and then Canary started being really goofy, like really out of character. And it was only for like a minute where she was really uncharacteristically goofy, and then after that it disappeared. So I don't know what that was about, because she was, you know, she was like making fun of like Huntress for having like anger issues, and it's like, it was so I can't believe, of all the things, because they cut quite a few things out from the trailers, and you can Google what apparently the original script and the original storyline for the film was, because it sounds terrible. You know, I'm not going to pretend that scene didn't happen. That scene didn't happen. Cassandra Cain, I didn't mind her. I don't know what the actor's name is, but I didn't like her either. And she kind of complicates things in the what I know some people like to be, just let films stand their own, but if you're going to build a cinematic universe, you have to build it. I think it's really weird that they had her and Cassandra and Harley, I mean, like, become pals at the end. She's like Harley's apprentice. As much as I thought it was a cute for this, if this was like one film, I'd be like, oh cool, that's a cute ending. But I'm pretty sure that Cassandra Cain isn't in the Suicide Squad, so I'm not sure what they're going to go with that. I mean, maybe she'll make a cameo, I don't know. To be fair, the Suicide Squad seems to be taking Harley in yet another, not completely different direction, but again, every time there's a film with Harley, and apparently they can't decide what they're going to do with her, so she is the 12th Doctor of the DCEU, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, you understand what I mean, in that every time they use her, she's like, maybe I'll be a completely different character this film. That's an exaggeration. I'm being hyperbolic. She isn't a completely different character, but I think there's a lot of difference between Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey Harley Quinn. And I'm hoping, similarly to the 12th Doctor analogy, I'm hoping that the third time they can find a good mix and be like, okay, this is her. This is who she is. I hope they don't revert her back to who she was in Suicide Squad, because I hate when they do that with characters in any kind of franchise. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. He was a really cool villain, and I also thought Zaz was really quite a fun villain. Honestly, them two were, I feel like, the only reason this film was really warranted an R rating, apart from swearing. The cutting off of the faces was really gross and dark. The bit when he's like, oh, I'll let her go. Oh no, there's a snot bubble, that's disgusting, kill her. Cut her face off, and I was like, that was admittedly funny. The line I liked when he says, it's something along the lines of, why do people keep killing people I own without my permission? You know, I don't get it. No one understands. And his death, although it was amusing, his death was sudden though. Like, it was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. His death was really sudden. But it was amusing when she's like, I got the ring, and then he starts frantically like looking over his body, and then he blows up just as he's about to hit the water. I feel like him putting the mask on though was really a point. I think they just wanted to be like, oh, it's a Black Mask, because he puts a mask on and then we only actually see him properly in it a few times, and then he just takes it off. LGBT representation in this movie. So yes, once again, they were hyping it up in interviews much more than it needed to be. And I'm not going to go, oh, this is a rant for another day. I say that a lot in my videos. When will this other day ever come? you know, they do this thing where they're like, oh, virtue signaling. Yeah, we have so much gay representation. It's so diverse. Oh my god, you're gonna love that representation. And then 9 times out of 10, it's like there is a very one singular subtle hint that they might not be straight. And I'm like, wow, this is excellent representation. I will say Zaz and Black Mask. I've forgotten his human name. Black Mask and Zaz. It was better than I was expecting because people were really going like, "There's no." There are hints. There are. I don't know. I think that it was clear enough that there was something else going on there. But again, I think the thing with Zaz is he doesn't seem to have a straight sexual desire. He seems to be into like despicable acts and torture and stuff like that. And he seems to have this way he talked about birds flying free, or like whatever he was talking about when he said he was going to like kill Harley Quinn. He seems to have the way he said birds, I think, kind of was a bit of like a female thing. So he seems to have perhaps a hatred for women, although Black Mask has a hatred for women. You know, 2 men with a hatred for women, them being a gay couple, makes sense. Oh my god, please don't take that clip out of context. That I am gay, please. I'm not homophobic. So although Renee and Ali Wong's, you know, there wasn't really, their relationship didn't have a lot of chemistry there. The fact that they explicitly were like, it's that her ex-girlfriend was at least like, okay, they're at least being like, yeah, they're gay. Total gay. Confirmed gay. And there was that offhand, like, little, in the animated opening, which was really cool. I like the animated opening. And I liked, it's a bit weird we've never actually seen Harley Quinn, like, I don't know, I think in the animated thing they showed her in her comic costume, but I'm not sure if that was meant to just be like a cute reference, or it was meant to imply that at some point she actually wore that costume, which if so, I would like to see the receipts. But there was that little joke in the animated opening of it was like going through, well, I guess it wasn't a joke, but they were going through like boyfriends. I was like boyfriend, and then there was girlfriend, which at least implies that she is not straight. And there wasn't, unless I somehow missed it, there wasn't like as there is a lot of this time, says, oh, he's experimenting in college, you know, because that's hilarious. Well, speaking of voiceover, there was a couple fourth wall breaks when it comes to actually looking at the camera, but the only times I actually remember it was at the very end, and that bit where they were in the car, and I think it's when Cassandra's like, oh, I swallowed it, and then she just very quickly briefly, it is funny the way they edited it, of her just like sitting there, and then looking at the camera, but I felt like they maybe should have had more of those, because I thought the voiceover worked, I thought the voiceover really worked, but I think they should have had a couple more fourth wall breaking moments. Her outfits were amazing. I loved her outfits. I talked about all of them. I feel like I've sort of covered everything. It looked much better than most DC movies. I thought the colour palette was really cool. I think that's basically it. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie, honestly. Like, there are faults. Like, narratively, I do think the fact that there are no good male characters in this movie is a bit of a problem, and I think sometimes it was a bit like, can we have one male character who's nice? Doc, you know, the guy who's meant to be this loving, like, sort of fatherly figure to her, literally just sells her out because people are offering him a lot of money. The only remotely nice character is the guy who cuts open that girl's dress. But he still cut open it. I guess he was going to die, but, like, well, that's the best representation you have for a man. I will say that scene, I do think that scene was a little bit, I think it was so unbelievably serious, I don't think it fit the tone of the rest of the movie. The bit where he made her dance on the table, although it was good when, like, Canary was like, no, she didn't, and I think it was good to show her and Zaz's, like, polar opposites. Yeah, it wasn't really worth it. I guess I also liked that Canary, although she didn't really like Black Mask, she was kind of like the angel on his shoulder compared to Zaz, who was the devil. The musical sequence, the only thing that was really weird was the musical sequence when she gets slapped by Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor, in the film, slaps Harley Quinn. That was really weird, and I think it might have just been, honestly, for the trailer. So, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It had problems. I feel like this might be a movie that, I feel like it would probably go down in my estimations. I feel like perhaps the sort of fun of it will probably wear off. I feel like I'm going to get sacrilege from the rest of my film studies students for giving it. I'm going to give it a 7.5. So, that is it. I'm about to watch Doctor Who. I'm very excited. If you liked the video, why don't you like? Why don't you subscribe? I don't actually do this in any of my videos, so you finally get it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Why not? If you didn't like it, dislike it, comment saying why you didn't like it. Tell me things. If you want to go in the comments and say I'm a fat faggot, do it. Go off. Because it's engagement, so I don't care.